Alright, yeah, welcome back to the third episode with our Jund ramp deck. So, as most of you know, this is the episode for change. So, what have we done to the deck? Well, we've cut a few things. We've cut a single Jaddy offshoot, and we've also cut a single cut. And the things that we've added in are essentially a Fall of the Titans. So, Fall of the Titans is an XX red. We don't want to cast it for that. Instant speed with Surge, which means if you cast a spell before it, you get to cast it for this instead. So that would be X and red, which is what we want to cast it for. Fall of the Titans deals X damage to each of up to 2 target creatures and or players. So we can use this to kill one big creature and also point some damage at our opponent's face as well. Being able to surge this off likely means that we can do a lot of damage. So the ways that we surge it are being that we can Walking Ballista for 0 maybe, Jaddy Offshoot for a single cost, we've got Heaven for a single mana as well. So we've got a lot of cheap ways to enable the surge cost on Fall of the Titans. And being able to point it at a creature is quite useful, whereas Cut only gets to do that on one side, and also we don't get to point the same amount of damage at our opponent. And Ribbons on the back points it at our opponent, but it doesn't point it at a creature. So there's a little bit of a benefit to Fall of the Titans where Cut to Ribbons doesn't allow it, so we're going to try that out. We've also added in the Kenra Charioteer. I'm just going to test this one out. I'm not entirely sure about it at the moment, but it's essentially what Mina and Den's in here for as well. So it's a 1, a red, and a green creature Jackal for a 3/3 with Trample, and it gives other creatures you control Trample, so everything gains Trample. Whereas Mina and Den actually has to return a land and pay 2 mana in order to give something Trample. The landfall's still pretty great, which is why I've not cut her entirely. Cut them, should I say. And also the reason why I haven't added 2 in, I want to test out the Charioteer, see if that works out a little bit better. So that's essentially the changes to the deck. Without further ado though, let's get right into the games. I'll see you there. Alright, we're back in, and we've got a lot of turn 3 plays, 3 mana to get to them, as well as a Nissa's Renewal later down the line. Let's go. Evolving Wilds grabs us a Swamp. We've got the green for everything else, Mountain for Cut later down the line. Our opponent mulligan to 6. Are they sticking with their 6? It seems like they're not too happy with it, but they are going to keep it. Red, green. Okay. Evolving Wilds. Crack it for a Swamp. Let's do this now. Thin out our deck. Don't want to draw too many lands. Prefer to draw explosive vegetations and things like that over land drops. Nothing for their turn 2 play. It's fine. We don't really have anything for ours either. Play Mountain. Pass the turn. We could Walking Ballista for 1. Don't see the value in that. Could just get Magma Sprayed and die. And our opponent misses their land drop. Alright. Now we're on to something, because now we can go Retreat to Kazandu. We can then Walking Ballista next turn for 1, play a Forest and put a counter on it, so we have ourselves a 2/2 Walking Ballista. Or we could even just Retreat to Hagra, play a land drop, gain life, drain our opponent. Next turn, Walking Ballista for 2. If we make a land drop, it's a 3/3. And there's our land drop, so I think that just seals the deal as far as that plan's concerned. Maybe we want to retreat first instead. This seems like an aggressive, maybe X-Burn spell kind of deck. So gaining the life seems quite relevant. But then again, retreat next turn with that on the board allows us to make Walking Ballista a Death Toucher to kill absolutely anything he plays. So we'll go with the Retreat to Hagra. Play a Forest, drain, gain. Go up to 23, take our opponent to 19. Pass the turn. Seems Heaven's going to be largely useless here. There's a Ronus. That gets around our Death Touching. unfortunately. But we can always make Walking Ballista humongous. That's the thing we can do. I feel like just keeping on playing retreats is going to be a fun thing. Keeping Walking Ballista a little bit of a secret. It's not as if we're going to be attacking with it so much. It just seems like a defensive combo piece as far as I'm concerned. We get to Nissa's Renewal later down the line and we just make Walking Ballista stupidly big with all of the counters. Let's do it. Gain and drain. Probably next turn we'll play Walking Ballista. Let's not get too greedy. If we draw a land drop, then it's going to come down as a 2-2, going to become a 4-4. With Death Touch and the ability to instant kill anything on the board for the turn. Like a Lathnu Hellion. Oh, you can hit us for quite a bit, can't you? Alright, down to 19. I'm just going to put this Heaven in the graveyard. Flyers, not really a thing. Might even encourage our opponent not to keep their Hellion if they think we're going to kill it next turn. They pay for it. They certainly thought about it though. And there's a land drop, so the Hellion's dead. So, Walking Ballista X2. Play our land drop, stick a counter on Walking Ballista, give it Death Touch, stick a counter on Walking Ballista. Remove a counter to kill Lathnu Hellion. Pass the turn. We're going to be able to do that again next turn as well because we've got Nissa's Renewal in hand. It's also going to make him really huge as well, so these blockers are going to die. Multiple blockers are going to die. I'm going to push through a fair bit of damage, keep Ronas off the board. Or out of action, anyway. Can't exactly get him off the board until we get to Ulamog. I reckon our opponent's very much... Oh, there's cut. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright. Well. It's gonna die, so might as well point our counters over that direction. Nowhere our opponent's making a creature with power 4 or greater, so we're not taking damage here. If we hit a land drop, I'm going to retreat plus land drop. Otherwise, I might just Nissa's Renewal, but we'll see. Well, that's a Nissa, which is almost entirely a land drop, since it's going to go grab us one. So we'll go cast the retreat. Cast Nissa. She is going to flip if I play this land though, and you're going to be able to potentially trade with Nissa. Almost entirely trade with Nissa actually. How much do I care at that point, though? So we gain 6 life and drain our opponent for 1. Turn after that, we Nissa's Renewal, gain 7 life, another 6, drain our opponent for 3. We get the card advantage off the top of Nissa, which could be absolutely anything. If it's another land drop, it's another 6 life. Minus Nissa to maybe discourage the Voltaic Brawler from coming in. So you're going to become a 4-5. I best play my land drop quite quickly, actually. We're going to be doing this. Let's gain life. I don't want to time out. We were doing that. It's just a question of whether or not we're minusing or plussing Nissa. The minus gets us a 4-4, which blocks you. You need to spend a little bit of mana, in fact all of your mana, in order to kill Nissa through the 4-4 then. Oh no, because you'd minus. You should go down to 1. Yeah, we'll just plus her then. For an extra land. Extra 2 life. Drain a bit. Say goodbye, Nissa. But we're at so high a life total, it really doesn't matter that Ronus is a thing. Nissa's renewal, gonna gain us a stupid more amount of life, and it's just a matter of time until we draw something. We've got Earth in the graveyard, so if he extends on his board, then he loses it. Our opponent does have ribbons in the graveyard, so that's something to consider, but he doesn't have double black right now. He may not necessarily ever have double black, even in his deck. Invigorated Rampage. Pump spell. Just going to go with the Ether Chaser. And just use the energy. No, maybe not. And pump those guys. Sure. Sure. We wipe your board next turn, if we want to. Depends on what we draw. And this is down, which is fine. We take 7, down to 26. Oh dear. What a time to be alive. Retreat to Hagra. 1, 2, 3. And then we Earth for 3. Get rid of these 2. Set up a better drain next turn. The game is trying to screw me over on that plan. Retreat to Hagra. He's going to have to commit a little bit more to the board because we are going to Earth for 2. Get his creatures off the board. We're going to gain a metric ton of life next turn. Glorybringer. Fine. For now, anyway. Every land gains us 2, 4, 6, 8 life. So we're getting 24 life off of the Nissa's renewal just on the land drops, and then another 7. And there's the Nuvenwald Hydra to follow up as well, to block the Glorybringer. Question is, do I Hydra or Renewal? I guess I'll Hydra since it stops him from attacking in with his Glorybringer anyway. He's got Death Touch on Ronus, so I don't expect that's going to stop him. Rogue's Passage. And Drain, Gain. Actually, we should start sticking counters on this as well. Because we are presenting lethal next turn. He needs an answer for the Hydra or he's dead. And I don't think he's got one. Not for an 11/11 in those colours. He could have a fight mechanic, actually. A fight mechanic with Ronus being Death Touch would do it. I don't think he's going to be using fight mechanics in this deck, though, because Ronus is likely the only Death Touch creature. And putting a card in for a one-of doesn't seem smart. Voltaic Brawler doesn't help. Goes to combat. He's going to exert, so we're not going to block. Don't want to risk any kind of shenanigans there, especially since we've got him dead on board and he doesn't. It's a shame we just can't Nissa's Renewal on the same turn. Harness Lightning. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, clever girl. You got me. It's alright, we're getting like 30 life. And there's a Sandworm Convergence. So, if we went Sandworm, the Glorybringer wouldn't be able to attack next turn. It won't be able to do that anyway, because he's tapped it down. So, I think we might as well just Nissa's Renewal, gain a ton of life. Just sort of secure our position. Right, do we have double black? We have a single black, so we're going to have to grab a black. Do we have double red? We have double red, so we'll just get green. Drain. Drain. Gain. 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 Drain. Gain. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Sandworm Convergence makes 5/5s. That's enough to kill our opponent next turn, short of removal. Well, the turn after, more specifically, because it will have Summon Sickness. Give that Trample, hit us for 10, down to 33. 32 if he wants to use his energy. You have the feeling he won't. Nope. I expect our opponent's hoping we don't have a game winner in our hand. And we do. We also have an Evolving Wild, so he's just dead there as well. Sandworm Convergence. And then Evolving Wilds, Drain, Gain, Drain, Gain. It's going to take him to 1 after we crack the Evolving Wilds. Past the turn, he's dead to a land drop. And he's dead to not being able to kill that token as well. So, got any answers? Because we have responses to his answers as well. That Harness Lightning trick's probably not going to work again because I can stick 3 counters on it at instant speed. Verdurous Gearhulk. Not going to help. In fact, that just means he's dead. Now swinging for 5. I'm going to crack my Evolving Wilds, grab another Forest. Drain, gain, drain, gain. Take him to 1. Essentially undo this attack entirely, meaning we don't even need to block. Even if we weren't at 40 odd life. No blocks. The greed, it paid off. Look at that. Beautiful. And a Tireless Tracker. Okay. So, Worm, unblockable. Go to combat. And swing for lethal. Sweet. We didn't have any Aftermath cards in our graveyard, unfortunately. That would have been nice. to -4. Sweet, let's go on to the next game. Alrighty then, we're in. 2 lands, lots of 3 drops, no ramp. Gonna throw it back. 3 lands, lots of 3 drops, no ramp. Bit of card draw though, and a Zendikar Incarnate. It's a little bit better. It's not great though. Okay, let's crack the wilds and grab ourselves a swamp. It's the only colour that we are missing. And the Cinderglade is now going to come into play untapped on turn 3, which is sweet. Don't see the need for a red on turn 2. Especially not when our opponent's playing Goblin Arsonists. Okay. It's some sort of aggressive deck, so a retreat to Kazandu would be nice. A retreat to Hagras are also going to be acceptable for the time being. Let's read the bones without losing 2 life. Might be a little bit awkward when we come to use it. Depending on how aggressive our opponent's going to be anyway. Right now I'm not terribly afraid of them, but... now that's a 3-1. Yay for 3 down to 17. Sure. Okay, so it's going to be Hagra, and then Hagra land drop next turn. So drain for 2. I'm going to start slowing our opponent down essentially, while we buy some time. And time is all we need. Because I imagine our opponent can't deal with 5/5 worms. And the sheer amount of life gain that we'll be getting. If we can drain our opponent for long enough, might just be able to race them. Flaring Flamekin. Okay. Expecting another aura to come down on that then. We might actually not win this race. We're going to need to get a little bit lucky. Down to 14. Walking Ballista, eh? If we did Walking Ballista, if we did it right now, we'd be able to make a 1/1, play a land, give it Death Touch, kill the Flamekin. If we played the Retreat first, then we can drain our opponent for 2. Next turn, make a Ballista for 4. If we hit a land drop, then we get to kill both. Interesting. Greedy. Safe. I don't think Read the Bones is an option here anyway. Read the Bones does help us find the land drop if we miss it next turn. Let's do it. Drain for 2. Pass the turn. See what our opponent does. Another Arsonist. And a Twin Bolt. No enchantment then, which is what we were fearing. I'm going to take another 5 down to 9 though. Beautiful. Land drop. Not punished. Sweet. Right, so... I think we are going to have to kill both of these though, so Walking Ballista is not going to live this turn. Let's go Walking Ballista X2. Play our land drop, give it Death Touch, and drain for 1. Because we want to kill the Flamekin. That's dead. If I kill that, even if we had an extra counter, he'd be able to point it at us. If I don't kill it as well, he also has the extra 2 damage underneath with the Inferno Fist, so... let's kill it now before he can't sack it. You can follow up with an Incarnate then. We're essentially going to go down to 7 if he swings in through the Incarnate next turn. Which I think is a reasonable life total. We're going to be down to 5 with the Incarnate. Less reasonable. I think this will stop him from attacking in though. Or at least point some burn at this instead of us. As I mentioned, the Reader Bones, it's going to be awkward. Land. Heaven. Heaven's interesting, actually. Let's play the Incarnate. Pass the turn, that's a 5-4. Holding back to block. We can't go anywhere near 4 life. Exquisite Firecraft just does us in then. Abbot of Kerrol Keep, we can Earth next turn for 1. Just makes a land drop from the Abbot. And he does swing in. Well, we block, because it's going to die anyway. And it's going to point damage at us anyway. Fiery Impulse. Okay. Sure. Put Heaven in the graveyard. So we can cast Earth to kill this. I'm going to have to do it for 2, just in case. Let's do it! Board is clear. Are we safe? Land. Chandra, we're dead. Awesome. Yeah, we weren't safe from that in any way. There was no way we could play around that. We were just dead to it. Take 6. That's aggro for you. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you did enjoy the content, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal. Lets me know you're enjoying the series. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon as well to get notifications when I release new videos. If you are interested in supporting the channel or you want to see an extra video from this deck as well, I do offer for $1 minimum on Patreon to support the channel. It's completely optional, but the rewards do include a 4th video for this one coming out tomorrow. So if that's something that interests you, then you can check that out. It's in the description. I'm going to also add some more rewards to it as well, so there's going to be a little bit of extra value in there as well. I'm not going to ask for more money because you've already supported me enough on that one, and it's just... the support's been amazing, so thank you very much, guys. It's completely optional though, so if it's something that interests you, $1 will get you 4 videos every single month, as well as access to polls, which allow you to decide what goes on the channel, essentially, as well as getting feedback directly to me as well. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.